Okay, Patters, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to get into Zack Snyder was right again. And now this is officially a theme of this channel. The Dark Knight, Batman, Bruce Wayne. We all know his different monikers. He kills. He kills a lot. And he's actually killed in regular DC Comics continuity post-Crisis of Infinity Earths. Let's go. Yeah, I just want to hit that drawing table quick because my last Zack Snyder video got, and it's not even like, I'm making a point. My last video was I made a point about my experience discovering that the Dark Knight kills outside of continuity. And I made this comparison of the Night of the Demon. I mentioned the Killing Joke a few times with Zack Snyder's, at that time, current Joe Rogan experience, where Zack Snyder just tells his perspective of why he would want his version of Batman to kill, because he wants to be challenged to discover what could drive him in that direction. What could create the need, the willingness for a Dark Knight to kill. And he compares this to the Dark Knight killing in Dark Knight Returns when he caps the guy with the M60 machine gun that's holding the girl hostage. For some reason, that idea, that quote, not really taken out of context, but it set the internet world on absolute fire. And then we get like no perspective. We get nothing critical about exactly what he's saying. So my local comic book shop closed. You guys, I don't know if that video, that haul video has dropped yet. It should be Fat Jack's Comic Crypt, the last haul. I got this during their final days of being in business. It's The Outsiders. It's an Outsiders annual. It's Outsiders annual #1. Kevin Nolan, Mike Barr, who is both of them prevalent on the Twitter sphere, prevalent on a lot of the live streams. When I picked this up, I kind of had this recall of how well, I just remember how well some of the faces were drawn. And I picked it up and I kind of just like flipped, I did a quick flip and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is going to go in my Kevin Nolan pile because I do like to document the work of one Kevin Nolan. So, and I sit down and actually start reading it. And #1, this book has amazing storytelling and backgrounds, and Kevin Nolan perfectly puts us everywhere we need to be as a reader, no questions asked. But then we get to the Dark Knight killing, and my mind is blown. Now I realize, maybe I've been a little bit naive myself, but the Dark Knight not only kills outside of continuity, but he kills within continuity. He is the consequence of people dying. I'm only going to assume that what I'm about to show you here is also throughout DC Comics. And this is also during the golden age of DC Comics, 1986 and 1987. We'll see this in some of the ads. What could be like, we kind of want to say, just based on how some of the titles and overlap, it's like more like 85 to 88 because some of the 87 stuff overflows into 88. But like those 4 years are really the pinnacle of DC Comics. I don't believe that they ever reached a collective height as they did with the pound-for-pound quality of those books. And one of the stars of that era was Batman and the Outsiders. It caught on and people loved it. It's one of the great spin-off books. It's one of the great books where you have someone unexpectedly, like the Dark Knight, like Batman, leading a team. Some flavor of Teen Titans. It's just this, Batman and the Outsiders is such a fun amalgam. And it's really cool to analyze why that series clicked, because when it comes to even DC Comics product and rollout, the role-playing games, TSR, and I forget some of the other ones, but Batman and the Outsiders was role-playing manuals, you had your collectible lead figurines, and you did have product, and the product that they had at the time to be available of this title, because this was one of their marquee books, believe it or not. So let's just hit the drawing table and let's check out the Dark Knight slaying some dudes, proving Zack Snyder correct. Good morning, my AKAPADers. We're getting to this one early in the morning. If you guys can tell, this is, we're at the sunrise here. We're super early in Philadelphia, PA. The full sun has not yet come over the horizon line. Cheers to all of you. Thanks for hanging out. So, if you guys haven't guessed, this might be a short video, because I don't want to get into, even though I love Mike Barr and his work on Outsiders. It is one of the, at this point, Mike Barr, Outsiders is one of the most overlooked comic book anythings of the modern day. This is also during the insanely creative experimental comic book boom of the you know, like I said, mostly 86, 87 DC Comics. Cosmic Boy advertisements. I just want to go through some of these. We get double Vigilante ad here. 1986 Vigilante Annual 2. We will be highlighting, we'll be kind of doing a showcase of the entire Vigilante series, including his first appearance on this channel. Vigilante, I'll just say right now, is one of my most influential comic book anythings in the entire known universe. There's few things as influential in my approach to monthly storytelling as Vigilante is. But then we get Watchmen, 12-issue deluxe series, coming at you. And then let me get into, I love these editorials here, by the way. But the DC checklist: Outsiders 14, Vigilante 36, Watchmen 4, Electric Warrior 8, Legion of Superheroes 29. Again, a banger run for Legion. Infinity Inc. 33. We got a lot of Todd McFarlane in that. New Teen Titans 26. Again, banger run. Outsiders Annual 1, which is this right here. I just want to note Kevin Nolan's hair in this issue. It's unstoppable. He draws... Here it is. Look at the hair for Black Lightning. With the shaved sides. It's just so... And I don't know why. I think visually, like, shaved sides in comics just works. But Kevin Nolan nails this issue in a way few people can. And yeah, here's our action set: the Skull, the Serpent, and the Outsiders. Mike Barr, writer, editor. Todd Klein, letterer. Kevin Nolan, artist, colorist. And we get the Dark Knight. He's intercepting a B&E, breaking and entering. Is this Watergate? We don't know. But hey, this guy's got his infrared lenses on, so does the Dark Knight. They go back and forth, and the dude bugs out. He tries to, little trickery, shines a light in the infrared lenses of the Dark Knight, right? We go dark. We've seen that in a million movies. But then he's off. And look at the backgrounds and the environment by Kevin Nolan. And he looks up, he's like, oh Jesus, and he sees the Dark Knight right there. But I love the colors for this, though. Like, just that to highlight the atmosphere, but then again to kind of block in the Dark Knight so we see him. Like, the shadows and the coloring kind of triangulate everything. Really cool stuff. Great pose here. I love the sound effects. Click, clack, click, clack. We can almost hear that. We can almost hear him running on the roof. He whips out an Uzi. Starts blasting away at the Dark Knight. Dark Knight is, the Batman is not taking it lightly. He's coming in hard. You see him swinging with the momentum, because again, he's swinging from the top of the building. So even like this pose and this pose kind of help with that swinging momentum. This dude loses. He's got white loafers on, which is very baller, very Scarface. He loses a shoe. Then he starts to fall. When he falls, He knocks his head because he's being chased by the Dark Knight, knocks his head on the dumpster with a blossoming splash of red. Tough break, Milton, but you started it. Damn, this runs deeper than I thought. Let's get the year right, guys. 1986 by Kevin Nolan and Mike W. Barr, and the power of DC editorial, Bob Rozakis, one of the greats. But Bob here signs off on the Dark Knight, murdering poor Milton over here. Geez, Zack. Geez. Isn't that interesting?